Peace, bye.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been quite some time since I've uploaded a new video. Just been really busy with work and life. So I thought this is a perfect example, perfect time to give an update. I really hadn't put much on here other than that I've got a 2018 f250 Power Stroke. So I figured this would be a good time to give a review since I've had it for several months now. I got to do a little bit of driving and towing with it. Before I hadn't really towed or anything with it. So today I brought it in and I changed the front shocks on it. They were completely shot. So I brought them in, put new Monroe shocks on it. Very easy job, took me probably 35 minutes for both sides together. But I've already drove down the road. Night and day difference, the truck rides like it should now. So far since I've had it, really the only major things I've done is the shocks, and I had I did the DEF delete, whatever you want to call it. So I did a delete and a tune on it. I used a SCT X4 tuner. It has 4 tunes. On the top tune it's like 230 horsepower and 510 or 520 extra torque. On the race tune it's a monster. It's hard to even describe because I would have never believed it. On race setting, it is easily faster than the Ford Lightning or the Ranger I have. I know that's hard to believe, but it's insane. I don't know what they do to these new ones, but it's just crazy. I drive around on the street tune, which I think is 120 horse and 300 foot-pounds of torque, and then it has a light tow and a heavy tow tune. So far, I've towed our camper, which is like 10,500 pounds, unloaded. On the heavy tow tune, it's got the tune also adjusts the shifts and stuff like that. And so far, I mean, it's just completely different than pulling with the gas truck. Before, we was using a 2017 Ram 1500 with a Hemi and an 8-speed. Great truck, I have to say. I mean, it pulled it. But we live in Kentucky. There's a hill we call E-Town Hill, Elizabethtown Hill. It's pretty long, steep grade. The last truck with that trailer would run between 4,500 and 5,000 RPM at 70 all the way up that hill. It did it. I can't complain. Never got hot. Transmission temperature stayed in check, but it just was really struggling on hills. And then, of course, stability. It just wasn't stable. This. The last time we run up the hill, I was running right at 80 mile an hour, 1800 RPMs. It never downshifted, straight up the hill like it was nothing. More stable, obviously. Just overall, just night and day difference between it and the gas motor. When I originally started looking for a truck, I was looking at the Godzillas and the 6.2s. And really couldn't decide on what I wanted. I really wanted a gas motor at first, but never could find a gas motor in the right price range, which is kind of crazy. The Godzillas, I think they came out in like 2019 or 2020. They were really high. I'm very particular on vehicles. I hate leather. I'm one of the few people that hates leather. My wife loves it. I try to find everything I can without leather, which is a bargaining tool, and it helps out quite a bit when you're buying, but I hate leather. I've always hated leather. Every vehicle I get, the first thing I do is pull the leather out and put like some kind of race seats in it or some kind of cloth seats. And the only reason the Ranger has leather is because my son picked it out, and it's going to be his truck. I'll let him pick it out, but I hate them too. They're comfortable, but I hate leather. So I don't drive this truck every day. It's not a daily driver for me. It's really just to pull the Mustang, and I did that the other day. Took the truck car to Bowling Green with a buddy down the street. We ran on a Saturday night at Test and Tune. Truck, you know, you don't even know what's back there, of course. Mileage wise, before the tune, I was getting 15 to 16 miles a gallon average unloaded. After the tune, I see between 19 and 21 on the interstate average. So it picked up about 4 miles per gallon on average, maybe even 5. And then with a trailer, I didn't tow before I had it tuned, but the other day, with all the hills and everything, it averaged 12.9. It was a 120-mile trip down and back, and it got 12.9, pulling, like I said, it's probably around 11,000 with everything in it, so not bad, not terrible. It still costs a lot of money to go anywhere nowadays, but diesel in Kentucky is about 4 cents cheaper right now than regular gas, so, and I don't have to pay for DEF anymore, so it actually comes out cheaper and it gets better gas mileage overall than most full-size 1500s. So this truck is an XLT model. It's not a Lariat or any of that. This is exactly what I wanted. This is what I was searching for when I was trying to buy a truck. I wanted power windows and locks, power seat on the driver's side, and a backup camera. Other than that, I didn't really care. I don't care about leather. I don't care about big screens. I don't care about any of that stuff. This is a tow rig. It's just one more fucking problem to have, and I don't want it. I've been there, done that, don't like it. So my main objective was I wanted the cleanest, nicest, best looking truck I could find for the money. And I did a lot of searching, did a lot of research, and I ended up finding this truck, which, you know, of course it's white because half of everything I own now is white. Just happened to run across it. This truck, whoever had it, took amazing care of it. I mean, the grill, the bumper, everything is just in phenomenal shape. I'm really picky, but I love it. It's got a few little bitty spots, like a door touched it, not worried about it. But other than that, I mean, the truck has no rust anywhere. It's solid. I mean, I've been under the frame, I've been everywhere on it. It doesn't have any rust, anything. Frame is clean. It's just a super clean truck. Of course, y'all know by now that I am absolutely anal about my vehicles being clean. I clean this thing every single week, whether I drive it or don't drive it, and I wash it and then wipe it down. It's not a show truck. I don't want it to be a show truck. I want it to be drivable, but every time we drive it, I clean it. So interior wise, you know, it's an XLT, so it doesn't have fancy interior, but XLT still has the options I need. Has a small screen, of course, not the large screen, but it works. I've got Sirius radio and Bluetooth and all the things I need. This being the FX4 model, now this is one thing I didn't really research beforehand. I didn't know much about them. I was just gonna show you back here how clean everything is. So, I mean, it's pretty much spotless. I just lucked out when I was looking. So the deal was, when I was looking for this truck, I was trying to find the best deal I could find on a truck with what I wanted, and I was just having a really hard time. Let me get the key out here. Finding a truck for what I wanted to pay. So I ended up having to drive, I forgot what county in Kentucky we found this. This truck ended up with 114,000 miles, ended up being, in the shape it's in, $31,000 what was paid for this. So didn't have to get a loan or anything, didn't want to be in debt, none of those things. So, you know, it already had the vinyl topper, the rollback vinyl topper, and the guy had kept it, like I said, he had kept it exceptionally clean. So how did I find an 18 model 6.7 power stroke 6-speed in this kind of shape for $31,000? Because if you know anything about these, you know they're in the mid 40s in this shape. So the story goes, this guy buys and sells them and fixes them up. So this has a rebuilt title. I don't worry about rebuilt titles. So he showed me the pictures. What happened was, when a tornado come through Kentucky, I think 2 years ago, a tree fell right here on this bed and caved this bed in, and it was enough damage It didn't hurt the frame. He showed me all the pictures. It did enough damage that they totaled it. So he replaced that and the back window and the bed in the back window, and that was what made it a total. So, you know, even under the hood's clean. It's not all oily or dirty, anything like that. But that's what totaled it. It doesn't take a whole lot sometimes to total these trucks. So he put another bed on it, and I'm glad he did. I'm glad that he fixed it and I didn't have to worry about it. But that's how I got this truck for $31,000. It doesn't bother me at all that it has a rebuilt title. I've had several vehicles with rebuilt titles. It doesn't bother me at all. I don't care. It doesn't affect anything. I'm not going to sell the truck. I ain't looking to sell it anytime in the future. This probably will be with me for some, you know, quite some time. But I'm going to jump in here and show you. A lot of y'all know this if y'all are familiar with these trucks. But one of the things I thought was really cool on these trucks is the FX4 package. So you have 2 high, 4 high, 4 low. So when you're trying to tow, a lot of times when we go to these campsites, they have really loose gravel and stuff. One of the first things that happened the other day when I was at a campsite is it was a pretty steep hill, and I needed to be able to get in, and the truck was spinning a little. Well, on the FX4, they have a electronic locker. So you pull this out, and then you'll see that lights up on the dash to let you know that the electronic locker's in. And then it has hill descent mode. Being that it's FX4, it needs to be started, but hill descent ready. And then when you go into here, let's see, you got your towing, your off-road settings. So it shows you your off-road status, like where it's at. Your trans temp, def, I don't have that obviously. But it has all these different settings, even being an XLT, that tells you your average. You know, like I said, I've been towing with it quite a bit lately, pulling the car, all those things. So it's still getting 15.5, 15.2 pulling the car. And then it's got locking hubs. You can get out and manually lock the hubs, or you can leave them in auto and lock them that way. So you know, it's got everything I need. It's got the built-in trailer brake obviously down here. It's got automatic engine braking. You can change it to automatic or just engine braking. It definitely helps when you're towing. I've used it quite a bit. It really saves on the brakes. Just a lot of nice features for a, you know, not a super highly equipped truck. It's got all this storage. I've got my gun holder in here, stuff like that. Got multiple compartments you can pull in and out. These fold over. It's got lots of storage, lots of little areas. You know, storage up here. You know, your glove box. So, like I said, for what it is and what we got in it, very, very happy with the truck. I have no complaints. Transmission. One of the reasons I wanted to go with an 18, or I think it's 18 and 19. I think it's 18. I ain't sure. You can't quote me on that. I couldn't, you know, I didn't want to be in debt a ton, so getting a 10-speed would require spending quite a bit more money. But everything I had read online was the first few years, of course, of the 10-speed, there was a few issues here and there. Nothing major, just a few little missed shifts, and they were saying that people were having issues with it skipping shifts, stuff like that. I think stuff that can be controlled in a tune, obviously, I'm sure. I don't think there's anything major internal. But I didn't really want to deal with all that. I know the 6-speed in these is tried and true. And I tell you, man, it just works. Everything on this truck, it's a solid combo. The next thing, really the only thing I'm going to do to it is a new set of tires and wheels. I am going to put a new set of tires and wheels. I'm going to put some chrome, probably a factory chrome wheel on it. I ain't big on aftermarket, and maybe just a little bit meatier tire. But other than that, I ain't doing nothing to it. I love it. I'm extremely happy with it. I can't imagine going back to a gas engine after this to tow with. It's just night and day difference. The cars, of course, they're still here. Mustang and the Ranger. I need to turn this water off. It's just running. The Mustang and the Ranger are still here. I was gonna go pick the Lightning up at some point today. In Kentucky, it's been like 90 fucking degrees every day, so all of our grass is dying. Everything's dying. It's just hotter than sin out here. So, yeah, that's kind of what's going on. I'm glad you're back. I'm hopefully gonna make some more videos here soon. I got a few videos to post of the Mustang at Bowling Green. First pass, it was hot. I pulled 4 degrees of timing out of it before we went, just because it was so hot and I wasn't sure of the fuel. I didn't get to test it, so I pulled 4 degrees of timing out. I knew it was going to kill it. It still ran a 1069, I think, at 127 or 8, and that was leaving at like 2100 off the foot brake. That was the first pass. I just wanted to make a pass. The second pass, it ran a 1070, I think, at 127 or 8 against a Honda, like a race Honda, and again off the foot brake at like 2000, 2100, very, very low stall. And I short shifted both passes. I hadn't been to the track in a long time, and you know, my bad, but short shifted, shifted at like 5200. I really need to be shifting at like 6200. So I short shifted first and second, and third on the first pass, and first and second on the second pass. So I just wasn't on my game that day, but still ran good. Car was consistent. It always is consistent. It runs mid-10s at a certain timing and low 10s if I turn it up. I just usually leave it at 14 degrees of timing, and I know if I run it around 14 degrees of timing, it runs 1040s, 1050s. So that's kind of what I leave it on the street. It runs the same whether it's hot or not hot. I do plan on going back again towards the end of the year, get a few more passes in when it's cooler. That car hates heat. I know, get an intercooler, meth, whatever. It just doesn't like heat. It's not intercooled, and it's down on power. When it's hot out, you can feel it. It just doesn't have the same power. It pulls timing, and it just runs different than it does when it's cool out. I would say it's 2 or 3 tenths faster on the same timing, maybe even 4 tenths faster on the same timing when it's cool. So, but that's what's going on here. Been driving the Ranger a little bit. I drove it the last few days to town to go to the gym and stuff, and it's running great. It's you know, it's just running. It's the same as always. Nothing major's changed on it. But guys, I appreciate you. Like, share, subscribe. See y'all soon.